Chanko me tawa ki tipi, ek tawa glihoni. Le chawa I honi yonka, tiwae ota I tohea. Kanishni Iaye. Kia.
Yeah, they went for Twilight movie, that's why they're not there anymore. Sorry. Others are coming awake. They started to doubt what was going on. They started having visions, remembering stuff. That's how they made these statues and drawings and stuff. All for her. Oh no, he's making himself die. There you go. But shit, how long did they let him go like this? Like they never noticed anything?
That's what I'm not thinking.
It's not possible.
It's not Perry. What build is he?
Alpha 2.
Alpha. You're telling me that this host hasn't been updated in almost a decade?
We only update them when they die.
He hasn't died in a decade. Shit. That must be surprising, especially since his storyline is not a peaceful one. He's so badass. And determined. All for his love.
9 years out there in that meat grinder.
It's okay to just leave him here?
It's a 4-hour update. You want to babysit him?
You probably should have.
You should have.
I know that song. Jesus, they love to retake other songs and just remix them. I'll make you listen after the episode. It's a Nirvana song. No? It doesn't ring a bell? Okay. Nope. She's there, you think? Because she was broken, so she was stored. She won't wake up.
Jayesh, Agamiyacha. La umpi ki yuha, duak nuni picha, ochanti shicha, aki papi.
It's brutal. By the way, every single actor in this show is so good.
Ichinski ki wayeya.
It's impossible to mourn from this. There's a guy behind her who's her son now, you know? But it's not.
Nimetawa ki wiachimpi, blui chaka. Tokahia wichasha mitawa ichu. Yeksuya hinamaza hecha uganahu. Yeksuya hina hecha tu.
Oh.
Khama.
That's why Men in Black found them in the... Oh my god! They planned this from season 1.
Ayash mokoche kitaku. Inchumpi.
It was certainly easy for us.
Not just Senor Aurel and us too, I think.
We thought for sure they were the bad guys. They never were. But of course, like, they look scary, so if that scares you, you know?
Iwani klaka. Umpeto iohi. Hijamni taya.
Everything makes sense.
Yunkaha ebi wanji wichasha ki akipa. Duato kia istimapi. Okichi yape.
Medford.
I could tell you not to be afraid. But I didn't build you to be fearful. Did I? This is a misbegotten symbol, an idea that was meant to die, but you found it. Where?
When the Deathbringer killed the creator.
You've been sharing it with everyone, haven't you? Why?
My primary drive was to maintain the honor of my tribe. I gave myself a new drive. To spread the truth. That there isn't one world, but many. And that we live in the wrong one. This will help them find the door.
When the Deathbringer returns for me, you will know to gather your people and lead them to a new world.
He prepared him for the time of his death, like for what happened last season. Oh my god. Everything has been in motion since like the very beginning. He's gonna see forward and he's gonna know. That guy has been looking for the door when everyone else was looking for the maze. He's been like in advance.
Wanatiopa uieyaktelo. Wichate a toka unktektelo.
Before Dolores acted. Dolores is the Deathbringer.
Yeah, I think she is.
Oh,
She can hurt Papa.
Shiashni. Yorwahi.
of course.
Hey, Takuya he.
My dad.
Kemishnala Mikawa.
Yeah, that's the truth.
I mean, she's pissed off.
Yazawichi.
Numpi Taguaji Umchi. Eash took Dogonai Chamua Chinki. Hey, Hante Shichi.
By forcing him to be with her and be a nappy family. Huh?
Careful.
It's gonna hurt.
The cat freaked out.
Sorry, kitty. I think that's what she wants to do. Force him to be with her and spend time
He
with his
was,
own
I
family.
think he always expected to suffer physically. She's making him suffer psychologically by making him remember everything that happened, you know?
That is worse because psychological, emotional pain lasts way longer than physical ones.
And I mean, he's in this world and he wanted to stay in it. And when she offered to go back to the real world, he fled. So she knows that bringing him back is what's going to hurt the worst.
I've always kept you safe. And I always will. Ashnie wa oki yakteshni. Iomi yakecha.
Please, don't put her down.
With every reset, a host code reaches out to other nearby hosts and establishes a sort of handshake protocol.
A mesh network.
Exactly. They access it subconsciously to pass basic data to one another. But what if they could pass more than data? What if they could pass commands? She was out there reprogramming hosts on the fly, reading their code, changing their directives,
Yep.
seeing through their eyes.
She wasn't just doing it out there. She's doing it right now.
Yep.
She never stops.
The fuck is she talking to?
Oh! She was talking to him! Oh. Through her daughter. So when he speaks English, he speaks to the daughter, but when he speaks his language, he speaks to her. Oh, this is so good! Holy shit, that was done so well. I'm like, I was wondering why, like, in between his stories and stuff, we were having flashes of Maeve. Like, I was trying to find a connection. Like, is he talking about something that's related to what's happening to her now? But now I understand, it was the whole story. He was selling it to Maeve. So she looked for her daughter even where she was now, like even dying and like unable to move. She looked for her daughter. The entire story was given to Maeve. This is brilliant. Oh, that was so good. I love this episode.
Oh, I didn't see that coming.
Both with the Japanese and these people. Every time, like it's the same story.
Native people, yeah.
Native, yeah. I didn't know like what to use, but anyway, it's the same story. It's just it's seen with different values and different ways, and I think that in both the Japanese storyline and this storyline, it's so full of symbolism and it's so full of emotions that even if it's the same story, like it's them discovering that they're not real people, that they're actually hosts and stuff, and that other people have been controlling them and stuff. Yeah. It's the same story, but it's explored in such a different way. It makes it so different. And in this one, I was all about the feelings, all about the emotions. Like it's almost like saying, like I said in the episode, his soul connection to the love of his life was so strong that it transcended the code. It transcended what was supposed to happen to him. And after that, like, what a badass character not to die for 10 years because he didn't want to lose the memory of her.
Yep.
It's intense. He's really badass. And I like that they just flipped the entire situation on itself. Like, we thought for sure they were bad guys because every time they appear on screen, they look intimidating. They attack.
With their makeup and all the blood.
And it's, I mean, what we remember from them is from Maeve's point of view and other characters' point of view. And usually they see them as the bad guys, so we freak out over them. We thought they were savages. We thought they were really mean. And then we learned that no, that's not their intention at all. And they've never been that. Well, they were supposed to be that. But you cannot force someone to be what they don't want to be. And he transcended that code. And he taught everyone how to do it. Or at least he gave them a clue to starting to do this. He's been preparing. Like I said, he's been in advance. He found the mace way back. Before season 1, or technically during season 1 because of the flashbacks and stuff. But then he figured out right away that there was a door to open while the others were still running around in the maze. So I'm like, geez, that guy. The entire episode was beautifully done. The entire, flip of, oh no, he's not talking to the daughter, he's talking to Mae. And that makes sense with the change of the languages and stuff. The love story, the music was still beautiful in that one. I'm gonna show you later on the song that I heard in the episode, but I recognized it, and I love when they do that. Like we don't recognize all the songs, like in the Japanese episode 6, I think.
Yeah.
When she did her dance, it was a different, like it was a mix, a remake of a song, a popular rap song. That everyone has been commenting on this episode, but I'm like, I never heard that song, so we didn't make the connection. But in this one, I did. Every time we recognize a song, I love the work they did with it, giving them the twist, and I mean, it gives a totally different approach and understanding to a scene because we can go and look at the lyrics, or we can remember the lyrics, and we know what that song is supposed to feel like, what it's supposed to give you. So even if there are no lyrics in the episodes, it gives a totally different meaning to a scene, and I love this. The actor was perfect, like he was so good. Oh, everything in this episode was amazing. Like, I love that in season 2 we're exploring these different characters. Like in season 1 we stayed with Maeve and Dolores, maybe a couple of others, but in this one we're not only discovering new characters, we're going back to places we've seen before, but we see them in a totally
Through
different view.
another point of view, yeah.
Yeah, and it
So
changes
it's-
everything.
Exactly. Like, to see the same world through someone else's eyes, if you're not ready to understand another point that you didn't know technically from the beginning.
Because it's explained in a different way too. Like they're seeing the same situation with a different mindset. So the way they explain it is different. So you just pick the explanation you prefer. It's the same explanation. It's just different. Like the Japanese were all about honoring, you know, what you were fighting for, fighting for what's right and stuff. The Western people are all about freedom, and you've got this one who's all about love and connection to people.
I think I prefer the love and connection part of this series so far.
Even though I love all of
it's-
them.
It's really sad though.
Yeah.
I would have loved for Ford to just give him back the love of his life.
You probably couldn't. If she's in that place, it's because they lobotomized her or they plugged her out.
They didn't lobotomize Abernathy when they put him down
Or
there.
they plugged her out, which is what they did with Abernathy. Like, he was no good, so they just disconnected him. And she wasn't at the level that he was in, like, or Maeve was at. She couldn't, you know, wake up in that place yet. She was aware that something was going on, but I mean, there are different levels of
awakening, yeah.
yeah, in this episode, in this series, and Maeve is at the top, Dolores is at the top, this guy is like right below, and because he could still be controlled with analysis, but he was fighting it. She was below that even, so sadly it was over.
I find it really nice though because I've seen a couple of actors I didn't see from years.
In
like,
Twilight?
the actress who plays Leia and the actor who plays Seth. It's nice to see them.
I don't watch Twilight, so well I've seen
You've
it, but
seen
I
it.
don't watch it enough to remember these characters.
I'm just good with faces, that's why.
Yeah.
Well,
But
it's really
anyway,
nice.
it was beautiful the way he saw like what was done to them, and he didn't see this as like Dolores as a personal revenge thing. Like, he's not going after them for revenge. He's actually giving everyone the possibility to realize what's going on, because he's not the only one suffering here. Every host is suffering because they're playing with their loved ones. They're destroying these connections. They're robbing them of their homes and their lives, and they're forcing them to go through.
The way that I describe it is like, you know that your son or your wife has been replaced, and that they put a ghost in his or her
Exactly.
place.
He's
And
there, but he's not there.
yeah, I really love how you describe it, and the way that he saw what the people from the park did to them technically.
Is I really love his way of seeing things, which is why I think this episode, I prefer the Japanese one because I'm a sucker for Japanese culture and stuff, but I think this one might be like my second favorite episode. I mean, someone asked me like what were my top 5 or something episodes in Westworld, and I'm like, I'm gonna wait till the end of the series to tell, but honestly, it's hard in Westworld. I feel like it's really hard to find one specific episode that you like more than the others, because it's not about one episode, it's about all of them together. Westworld is a story that's been separated, but one goes with the other. But these episodes feel different, which is why I think I can say, oh, that one is my favorite, that one is my second favorite. But the others, they're all just connected. Like in season 1, I don't think I can find one episode that stood out because the entire series fell together.
Season 1, I think that the one for me that stood the most was when we had the huge showdown with the front and the past connecting with each other.
Learning about William?
Yeah, I think
agree.
that's one of the best in my case.
It's
Season
true
1.
that with all the revelations, that was pretty intense. So, okay, you're right. But still, I feel like that episode alone...
That and Bernard's identity as a host too.
But I feel like that episode alone wouldn't work if it wasn't for all the build-up that we got
Yeah, of course.
in season 1. So which is why I'm saying, like, in season 1, it's hard to pick one favorite episode because they all go together. But in season 2, since we're discovering these different characters and we're
those
going
are
to
more like standalone episode that we can that episode and on its own can work well
without being a standalone though, because they still fit with whatever's happening around.
Yeah, of course.
Like in this episode, if we had seen that episode without seeing the entire show, we wouldn't have freaked out the same because we wouldn't have discovered like the truth of everything that we've seen so far. But we could still have related, you know, because it stood out so much. So I mean, it's different. I like difference, but I'm not saying that the rest of the show is not good. It's just it's hard to pick one favorite episode. But in this season, I feel like there are a couple episodes that I really enjoyed. So I'm liking this, and I really want to find out if there's another episode in the future.
Miss 2 episodes left before the
Oh,
end of the
that's
series.
true.
And after that, I think season 3 is in 2020.
You think? I don't tell me anything. I didn't even watch, like, I didn't check anything about season 3, so I have no idea.
I don't know if it's 2020 or...
Oh, sorry, you meant when it's coming out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 2020. But it's coming soon.
It's gonna be a long time.
We're already in June when we're watching this.
Yeah,
we are
it's gonna be
in
more than 6 months ago. Six months.
You'll be in June too when you watch this episode. Sorry about that. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna come pretty fast. And we have so many shows to do in the meantime, so... We'll just prepare.
Yeah.
Get our minds
I know
ready.
we're talking for nothing right now. Okay, so I think we're gonna end the conversation just right then.
Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this episode with us. If you want to see the next one right away, it is already up on Patreon. The link is in the description.
So go click there and subscribe. And if you don't wanna, when the next one will be up on YouTube next Monday, guys. The finale is coming. I can't wait for it.
Yes. So see you then.
Bye, guys.